Having a day off yesterday helps, I think, the whole camp. It's 4 straight days of skating. Then that's why you get a day off. And so, I'm just looking for the stuff that we practice in this game tonight. I think that's what coaches are looking for. Use those elements in the game tonight.
Rick, how do you plan on going about the preseason with the lineups that you dress for your 6 games, especially 5 and 7?
Well, rule of thumb, you try to get your, the veteran guys at least 3 games. I think, and then obviously we got some guys vying for positions. Usually you try to get those guys 3 or 4 games. And then obviously, you kind of spitball, maybe a guy you think, hey, you want to get him game, he might have a good game, you want to see him again. So that's kind of the rule of thumb you try to do.
Lankinen's going to be on the ice. How many times you plan
Who's
on
that?
using Lankinen, your new goalie?
Yeah.
How many times you plan on using him in the preseason?
I don't know yet. We're going to get him on the ice here with Marco and team practices, but got to get him in, whether it's Friday or Saturday, one of those games, I think, or Monday. He'll get in one of those games, and I think that's important that we get him in. But we got to let him get some practice with us.
I want to ask you about a guy like
Sealoffs. Yeah, I'm not. Maybe down. Maybe game 3 or 4, when we might split. They're 2 and 1. I'm not a 30-30 guy. But I'd like to see C's play the whole game tonight.
There's a lot of things you want to do, Rick. You want to push the pace, you want to be more responsible, you want to get your systems play in order. Well, what do you look for in a game like tonight? Is there some individual curiosity about guys where you're trying to figure out where they're going to match, how they're going to fit?
Yeah, well, hockey IQ is big for me. So we did 4 days of some stuff that we want to see guys do, and that's what I look for, and obviously, we just got to be careful because in the scrimmage, I know it's a scrimmage, but, we weren't changing that great. I didn't think we played fast at all. Maybe guys were tired or whatever, but we got to be careful that we stay, you guys know, the same old thing. I'm not getting away from our staples. It's important. We want to play fast, but you can't play fast and forget about your staples. And I thought the 4th day I saw that, we just got to be, so it's been addressed. I want to make sure guys understand that.
Hyman calls himself a complimentary player.
Yeah.
What have you seen so far with Bess and Miller? It looks like
just a smart guy, knows where to go. If Bess and Millsy are pushing the envelope, he knows he's the 3rd guy back. He's smart that way. He's got some speed. So yeah, I've really liked this camp so far.
How about Ratu?
Yeah.
You played him with some good players throughout camp again tonight. What's the window for him to make this team, and what do you want to see?
Well, I think if you look at his development, when we first got him, his skating was, just okay. I think, but if you watch the Abbotsford guys and the development guys did a hell of a job with him because he's a different player than he was last year in the sense, had a good year last year, but I see a little bit more, another level. Looks fast out there with his skating, every drill he does, he goes 100%. Like even the morning skate, I told him, slow down a bit because he wants to savor tonight. So I like that attitude though from a young kid. He's trying to make the team. Whether he does or not, he is trying to make this team.
How about Pedersen and just what you've seen from him playing with Phil?
With
Roenick.
Oh, Roenick. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
EPD.
ED. Yeah. The D. Really, it's funny. Jim Rutherford were talking. Jim had, and I played with. He looks like a little Ulf Samuelson out there. Just the way he plays, a little abrasive. So I don't want to put pressure on him, but he's a smart guy, and I think Phil has really helped him. If you listen to Phil, I thought Phil's had a really good camp, but he's telling him, he's yelling instructions where to go, and I think that's really helping his development.
Rick, you want the competition out there. Realistically, how many jobs are for grabs?
I mean, it's hard to say, but there's spots open. We're looking for guys to, this week you're looking for guys to really show us, they want a job or they want that spot. I think it's important.
Sammy Blais, obviously, you praised his work in Penticton, but a guy like that, the way he plays, this is where it's kind of go time for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to evaluate guys just in the 3 days of rush. Some guys look better than others in rush, and then when the game starts, it kind of flips sometimes. So you got to, I'm looking for Sammy, that hard forechecking guy. I talked to Craig Berube. He had him when they were, in St. Louis. Being a first forechecker, he likes to take the body. If he can play defensively for us, I think Footy might have him penalty kill maybe tonight to see if he can penalty kill. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking to see him play an abrasive style for us.
Did Craig make a recommendation to you about him before you guys brought him in there? Like, did you guys talk?
We talked a little bit, yeah. We talked a little bit.
And what was his opinion?
Well, he's a good forechecker. I mean, there are some things that he's got to work on. I'm not going to get into it, but, there's stuff that we got to work on with him, for sure.
What's happening with Luger in his timing?
Who's that?
Luger.
Teddy is going to practice with us today, first practice today with the non-guys, so that's the first step. So, you know, I'm not sure how many practices he'll get before he plays, but he'll get I'm pretty sure he'll get a preseason game, maybe 2, but he's looking good.
Is this just a night off for JT? I mean, we're not used to seeing Brock and JT split up and hide in camp, but...
Yeah, I want to see Rats. I want to see some guys, Sass, and you know, Millsy, you know, I think he's top 3 fitness guy on our team. You know, he came in great shape. I'm not sure that he, you know, early on, he has to play right now, but, you know, he'll at least get 2 games, at least. So, and he likes to play, but he gets it.
Rick, have you had a history of PTO guys making your team? I mean, there's been a history here in the past with fourth-line guys like Jack Skilly. They come to camp and they do everything the coach wanted, and we're hard-pressed not to give him a shot and give him a contract.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think there's been a couple of guys that have made the team on a PTO. I can't, but there's been some guys on the PTO that actually have signed a contract and made some good money after that. So, you know, you look at, usually PTO guys, I mean, look at Pacioretty had a couple goals the other night, you know, so, you know, you're looking for somebody to be desperate out there.
There's a little bit of stress, you know, for players coming into a preseason, especially the younger players. Is there any conversations that you have with players, you know, to tell them just relax, play your game, and or how do you approach that?
Listen, for me, you know, I had the development guys myself, and the Twins talked to him. You know, I want him to play like he did in rookie camp. I think he's, you know, I think he's with NHL players, so I think he's just kind of waiting around. He doesn't want to be disrespectful. I want him to be disrespectful in the sense that go get the puck, want the puck, do what you did at rookie camp. I think sometimes it's a natural when you're a young guy, you don't want to kind of, you know, yell for the puck, and I want that. So I think, you know, I'm looking for him to really, I want to see, like, I thought 3 days he was okay, but I think he's just waiting around. His camp was really good. So that was one guy we had to talk to. Let's go. Like, you don't have to be respectful, just go play. I think that's something that we're looking for. He's a great prospect for us. So I want to see him play tonight.
Rick, how much will you also use this preseason to set your goaltending as much as you can with what you're dealing with?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you see Seeloff's the other day in scrimmage was excellent. You know, I think he deserves the first game, and I think he deserves, you know, the lion's share of it. But getting a guy like Lankinen he's an NHL goalie. He had a good year last year. We got to get him into the mix, and the other guys are, you know, obviously they'll get their time.
How much more comfortable do you feel because of that trade? Just knowing however long Thatcher's out, at least you got 2 guys that you believe can play in the NHL.
I think it was, you know, obviously Patrick and Jim, I think it's a great signing because it just strengthens your goaltending. You know, there's not a lot of stress. You know, listen, injuries happen. You know, they come in 2 sometimes in a week, so you got to be ready for it. So I think having Lankinen, who's a quality goalie here, just strengthens our whole department.
Yeah, there's some runs last year. We actually played better than Saros. Is
Yeah.
that just kind of something in the back of your mind, understanding that he can carry the ball if he has to?
Yeah, and I just like the fact he's studied our team from the playoffs, and he watched us this summer. And when he was talking to Patrick the last couple of weeks, I know they were talking about money and stuff. He was still watching film of us, and I like that. Like, he's a very studious guy. He wants to know our system. I think he likes the system, and you know, he has a good year here. I mean, you know, he'll get paid. That's the way you got to look at it.
Dig in right now!
JT Miller's an asshole.
Generational talent.
Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.